everyone, once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and today is our track and field preview show. And joining me for today's episode is Dylan Cope and Alexis Brazier. How are you guys today?
Good.
Well, of course, the 2015 spring season already underway. The first meet, we're going to talk about the schedules to begin today's episode, but the first meet for you, Dylan, was at the Anderson University Fred Wilt Invitational. How'd that one go?
Went very well for everybody.
How'd the team place there?
The men's team placed 7th. I'm not sure how the women's team placed.
I think there's 15 teams and we placed 12th or something like that.
I've got 15th out of 17 for the women's team, and
gotcha.
then 7th out of 18 for the men's team there as well. The next one on the calendar, though, is tomorrow, the 21st, which is the Transylvania University Invitational. What do you expect to see there, Dylan?
We finally get outside. We finally got to start training outside, so everybody's getting faster. It's hard when you're indoors to get good training in. You can only do so much, but now we're outdoors. Everyone's been looking pretty good, and I don't know.
All right, how do you expect the Transylvania one to go, Alexis?
I think it's going to go a lot better than the indoor meet, simply just because we've had more time to practice outdoor and get the actual distances in, and we're all looking a lot stronger as a whole. So, and then our throws, we actually get to compete more with like javelin and hammer and shot and discus too.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
All right, the next meet on the men's schedule is on the 28th of March at the Hanover College Invitational. Dylan, how do you expect that one to go?
Well, last year was very cold meet. It was pouring rain. It just didn't go well for anybody. We were all scratching events. Hopefully there's good weather so we can all perform. But I hope they all go all the meets.
The women's team also there at Hanover on the 28th. What do you think, Alexis?
Last year, like he said, it was freezing, and we weren't allowed inside of buildings last year because like it was so muddy, and like we were just like tracking mud everywhere. So they were just like, if you can, stay outside. But our tent was also kind of broken and leaking rain, and it was just a very bad experience. But it made for some good memories, I guess.
Right.
But
hopefully it goes better this year.
I know. I just hope the rain just stays away. Even if it is a little chilly, that's something that we can handle. But my ideal weather would be sunshine.
Now, does the cold impact how you guys run?
Oh, of course. Definitely. Especially the sprinters. Normally sprinters don't get to go outside unless it's at least 40 degrees because it really tweaks their muscles a lot. Distance, we can handle it a little bit more because we're going for a longer amount of time and we're not using the same muscles that you would with sprints.
Right.
But we distance people still like warmer weather.
All right. Well, moving on into April on the 2nd, that's another trip back to Anderson for the Easter Invitational. Dylan, how do you expect that one to go?
The Easter Invitational, there's not a lot of teams that go there. It's a good meet to get a lot of practice in. It's still hard, and you still have Anderson's going to be there. There's still a lot of good teams there, but it's just not as big. It's just a good practice meet. If you want to try a new event, it's a good opportunity to try something new.
And how do you expect that one to go for the women's team?
I think it's going to kind of throw us off a little bit because it's a Thursday, not a Saturday or Friday. So like we'll be in school all day on Wednesday and then in school until we leave on Thursday. So I think it's just going to be kind of awkward, that weird transition, just a new day. But like he said, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to try some new things.
Now, I'm sure in the past you've had days where there's classes and then you go to a meet, correct? And does that make an impact on the day as well?
You don't get to focus as much. That's the only thing that I find a problem because normally the morning of a meet, I like to just chill and think about how my day's going to go and focus on my race. But when I'm in class, I don't really get an opportunity to do that because I have to focus on what's happening right then and there.
Right. All right, well, moving on in the schedule for the men's, on the 10th and 11th are the Little State Championships. Dylan, what do you expect to see there?
Little State, we're finally going to be able to run the 4x8 meter relay with me, Kyle Hall, Sage Henderson, and Adam Klipstein. And we hope to break the record again. And we hope to, we'd like to place really well. Last year, we ran 8:19. We were ranked 34th in the nation. And this year, we're looking a lot better. We'd like to break 8 minutes. And hopefully make a shot at nationals. I know the national standard's 7:54, I believe. and we hope to run faster than that.
All right. Well, hopefully you make it back to nationals. Of course, you're just there for cross country. Alexis, what do you expect to see at the Little State Championships?
Last year, I think we had a few girls on the podium. I know Morgan Stanley placed for high jump, and we had Teresa ran in the 400, and she did pretty well there. You know, we really get to use that competition and the better schools and the faster times to really push ourselves.
Right.
So I'm really excited to see what some of our girls can do, because a lot of our girls are freshmen this year. So they haven't been pushed at this level before. So I'm really, really excited to see what they can do.
Right. Well, moving on, in the 24th and 25th, that's the KIUC conference meet. What do you expect to see there?
Conference is fun. Yeah, a lot of conference champions, and we have a lot of talent in this team. We have a lot of talent. It's going to be hard to compete because of our small numbers. And we only have like 11 guys on the team. But I hope we all do well. And we have, like I said, we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of people that can win. It's hard to score points, but.
Right. How about you, Alexis?
Pretty much the same thing. I don't exactly think that, because we're so short on numbers this year, I don't think we'll be able to go in and be like, oh, we're going to win this thing, because Rio Grande has triple our numbers, and so they're going to be able to throw people in other places where we can't. And so we're just going to utilize the talent that we have, and if we can all leave with medals and PRs, then it's a win for me.
Right.
Great day.
Now, are there a lot of meets that we've mentioned here in the past that you'll go up against some of the conference teams?
Yeah. At Little State, we'll go up against, I think, right?
I'm sure the team.
There's at least one or two, I think, that we go up against. And I'm pretty sure at Hanover.
There'll be teams there. Another one would be
Normally, the Anderson meet that we go to, there's a couple teams there, but this year it's a different invitational because it falls on Easter weekend. So I don't know if there will be any of the teams there.
Okay.
One thing that I think is going to be super awesome this year is conference is a 2-day meet now, where before it was all in one day. And so I think we're all really excited for that, because there's more events added. And so, like, we have a race walk now, and I think we're going to try to get somebody in. Yeah. It's not normal for us, but I think we're going to try to get somebody in there. It'll be fun. You know, the first day we're going to get to see what we're going to be up against. So it'll be nice.
Now, you said there are events added to that, but are the days going to be as packed in? Are there going to be events more spread out through the 2 days? So that'll give you some more time to rest before possibly advancing the second day, correct?
Yeah, that's very important with the small numbers. It's easier to run more events. You can run some events on that Friday and then on the Saturday, so it reduces exhaustion, because you can only do so many in a day.
Like the boys 4x8, I know that that's going to be another good opportunity for them to try to get that shot at nationals. So I believe it's ran on they all run individual events as well. Like Dylan runs a 4x8, sometimes a 15, or the 800 like he did in the past meet. And so splitting those into 2 different days, a 4x8 one day and then their individual event the next day, it's going to help them so much more and get those times down a lot. So.
All right. Well, the last regular season event on the schedule falls on May 2nd. That's the Billy Hayes Invitational at IU Bloomington. What do you expect to see there, Dylan?
It's very hard to get into that meet. And last year, we only had one person. I was the only one that qualified. Hopefully, we have more people qualify. And it's really cool that my teammates came and supported me. But I'd like to have other people go. I'd like to support other people, too. So hopefully, we have more people qualify for it. And that'd be our last shot at qualifying for nationals if we don't do it during the season.
Right. Now, what does it take to get into the Billy Hayes Invitational?
They only take so many entries, and so the qualifying times are usually pretty solid. It's just we have to run faster in the season. We have to perform very well to get in there. And you'll see we run against D1 schools, run against IU, run against UK. It's very competitive.
Right. Do you think you have anyone on the women's team capable of making it to there?
I think that some of our distance girls could definitely have a shot. We don't have a lot of sprinters this year, but I think if we really put our minds to it, we could definitely get close at least. Last year, I was pretty bummed out because I tried to go for javelin, and I did not make it in, unfortunately. But when I went up there, I would have beat at least 4 girls. So hopefully this year
Right.
I can PR again and work my way into a spot up there. So it's a really exciting meet, like Dylan was saying. It's just a completely different world up there.
I bet. Well, the last one on the schedule is the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of May, and that's the NAI National Championships. Dylan, do you think there's anyone on the team capable of making it there? I know you mentioned a little bit of that earlier.
Yeah, the 4x8 meter relay. We have a lot of talent that came in this year. Adam Klipstein, and our training from last year is it's so much better. Last year was kind of like an experimental year. We put together this training plan, and with it being the first year last year for that training plan, we've seen a lot of mistakes, and we have to correct those mistakes for this year.
Right.
And we're already so much better than what we were last year. And like I said, Adam Klipstein came in, Sage Henderson, and then me and Kyle Hall, and it's very exciting. I'm very excited to see what we can do. But Clint Swanson would be another one to look at. Clint Swanson won the 400 meter at our last race.
Out of the slow heat.
Out of the slow heat.
So
Yeah, he'd be one to watch too.
All right. How about the women's team?
it's really hard to say. I mean, I would absolutely love to see any of the girls make it on, and I would do my hardest to get down there to support them. But this year, I don't know if we have the numbers to be able to practice with to push ourselves to make us that much better. But, I mean, as long as we try, you know.
Right. Well, with the schedules in mind and the first meet at Anderson for the Fred Will Invitational in mind, how do you expect the rest of the season to go, Dylan?
What do you mean?
Just like, how do you expect the team to do throughout the rest of the season?
Throughout the rest of the season, we're just going to keep building the whole season. And it's just, we're finally outside. It's hard with that small number. It's hard to win anything. And so we just got to go in there and just do the best we can. That's all there is.
All right, how about the women's team, Alexis?
I really honestly think that we can only get better. I mean, we performed pretty well in the indoor, not as well as I had hoped, but we can only do so much with the facilities that we have. You know, we work with what we've got right now. But now that we're able to get outside, we're going to be so much stronger. And it's warmer out. It's going to be more motivation to work towards the rest of the season. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to be able to do.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's a look at the schedules for both the men's and the women's track and field teams. When we come back, we'll take a look at the rosters right here on Inside IUE Sports.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
And welcome back to more Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and today is our track and field preview show. And joining me to do so is Dylan Cope and Alexis Brazier. We already talked about the schedules for the two teams, so let's break into the rosters a little bit. We'll start with the women's roster. Let's start a little bit and tell us about yourself and how you expect to do this season, Alexis.
With such short numbers, I'm having to be placed in different events that I'm not typically used to. For instance, normally when I throw, I just do javelin, but this year I'm taking on shot put, and it's been a challenge, but I'm really excited to see what I can do in the outdoor season. So,
how about yourself, Dylan? How do you expect to do this season?
I expect to do very well. I've never been in such great shape before. I mean, like I said before, the training is so much better than last year, and I'm already better than where I was last year. I broke the indoors 800-meter record, and I just want to see what I can do in other events as well.
All right. Well, there's a freshman on the women's team from Eaton, Ohio, Kelsey Beener. Tell us a little bit about her.
Kelsey is such a great person. I really like being on the team with her. She's super nice, super encouraging, and she's at practice as much as she can be, and she really helps push the other girls a lot. Being a freshman, I'm really eager to see what she'll be able to do in our distances. I think she maybe placed 1,500 or so. And so I don't know. I heard she was a pretty good miler in high school, so I'm excited to see what she can do.
All right. And Dylan, tell us about the sophomore from Indianapolis, Colin Burris.
Colin Burris is redshirting this year. Colin,
Right.
yeah. So I'm sure he's out there training somewhere. He's very motivated.
All right. What more do you know about him other than redshirting? Anything?
Colin is a very good in high school. Colin was part of North Central's semi-state cross-country team. Colin's very hard. He's a very hard worker. And like I said, he's probably out there working out right now. He's probably running somewhere.
All right. Well, Alexis, tell us about a freshman. That's Amber Dwyer. Tell us about her.
Amber, she's new this year. She actually she didn't run in high school, but we always saw her in the graph working out and stuff, and we knew of her, and we knew how competitive she was, and I just kind of asked her, hey, you want to try out for the track team? And she was more than excited to. She was really, I haven't met someone as excited about running as she is actually. So she's been a great help to our team. She's going to be able to do a lot of really good things this year.
Definitely.
All right. Well, Dylan, tell us about a sophomore. He's from Richmond. He went to Centerville High School. That's Matt Flood. Tell us about Matt.
Matt's a great worker, too. Matt Flood. Matt Flood runs the 100. Matt Flood runs the 200. And he's just a great guy. I don't know.
All right.
He'll contribute to the 4x1, I'm sure. He's just,
Right.
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's move on to a freshman from New Madison, Ohio. She went to Tri-Village High School, and that's Heather Ferris.
Heather is so strong this year. She is in the greatest shape of her life as well. I talk to her about it all the time. She's always very positive. You can ask her to go out and run 5 miles, she'll run 5 miles. You tell her, hey, come race me in 100, she'll race me in 100. She'll do anything you ask her to do. She's very uplifting too. She encourages all the girls, and I think that if not this year, next year she'll be great captain material. She's a very, very good athlete, and she contributes very well to our team.
All right. Well, let's move on to a junior from also just down the road from Hagerstown. That's Eric Hall. Tell us about Eric.
Eric Hall, he's a senior academically. He's a junior athletically. He throws shot put, and he actually contributes to the 4x1 as well. It's nice to see that he's willing to step up, and if we need him to do something, he'll do it. But he's a very good thrower, and it's going to be fun to see what he can do this season.
Right. How about a sophomore from Mount Summit, Indiana, went to Blue River, Brianna Grott.
Brianna is very strong as well. She's had some injury problems, so it's been kind of setting her back. Her hamstring bothers her quite a bit, but she bounces back better than ever. She did that last year as well. She pushes herself, especially in the meets. She does not like to lose, so it's very rare when you see her lose her heat. So I think that she will help us a lot in the 4x4 and the 4x1 as well, and her individual events. She does long jump too, and she did really well last year at conference. She had only practiced the week of conference, and she went out and placed, so she did really good.
All right. Well, Dylan, a junior from Dillsboro, Indiana. Tell us about Kyle Hall.
Kyle Hall is the leader on our team. He's the captain. He brings us all together. He's like a pillar that holds us all together as a team. He's a great athlete too. He works hard. He's just a great person. I don't know how to.
Right.
He's just,
All right. Well, moving on to a freshman from right here in Richmond. That's Jordan Hogg. Tell us about Jordan.
Jordan has not ran track either, and so we were asking her because she was our cross-country manager. We were talking to her, Jordan, you should run, it would be so fun. We want you to stay around. And so she's taking on the task, and she's doing an excellent job so far. I am so proud of her, and just the improvements that I've seen in practice every single day, I could not be more proud. I'm really excited that she's staying with us this year.
Right. Well, there's also a freshman on the men's team from Royal Center, Indiana. That's Sage Henderson. Tell us about Sage.
Sage Henderson, he come to us. Sage was originally a sprinter. He didn't run cross country, but he came to us, said he wanted to run 4x8, and he ran the 800 in high school, and he's done great things. He came in, we ran an unattached meet, and he ran his fastest time. He's a hard worker, and it's nice to have him with us.
Right. Moving on to a sophomore for Brookville, Indiana, Teresa Holzman. Tell us about Teresa.
Teresa is a junior academically and a sophomore athletically, and she was homeschooled in high school, so she didn't ever get to compete on at a competitive level. But her and a few of her sisters have decided to run cross country collegiately, which excellent choice because all of them have excelled very well. Teresa, the more she practices, the more she learns her races and the stronger she gets, and she has helped us so much in cross country and in track, and I'm really excited to see her drop sometimes in the 1500 and the 800 this year.
Well, another local member on the men's team, a junior, Cameron Jones. Tell us about Cameron.
Cameron Jones holds the javelin record right now. Cameron's he's a great sprinter. He's very versatile too. I mean, a lot of the guys on our team are versatile, but I like to see what he can do in javelin this year. It's very fun to watch him throw.
All right. Tell us about a sophomore from Muncie. She went to Cowan High School. That's Riley Johnson.
Riley is a great friend of mine. I really enjoy having her a part of our track team this year. She didn't run track last year. She just redshirted, but she is going to be able to help our distance out a lot. We have a lot of middle distance girls this year, and we don't have very many 5K, 10Kers, and Riley is going to be able to help out tremendously with that. She's a tiny little girl, and she can just move. She's quick, so.
Right. Well, moving on to another freshman, Adam Klipstein. Tell us about Adam.
Adam Klipstein, he's one of the best. He brings a lot to the team. He has a great attitude about everything. Adam actually broke 5 minutes in the mile for the first time. Here, it's very motivational to watch him run, watch him succeed. I'm excited. It's his first year, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
All right. Well, a freshman from Etna Green, Indiana. That's Allie Can. Tell us about Allie.
Allie is very versatile. Like Dylan was saying, we have a lot of those people on our team. Allie's probably one of the most versatile. She runs the 100-meter hurdles, and then she goes and busts out a great time in the 3K. So It's like, I don't know, it's a little confusing. I don't know how she does it, but she does a really good job at handling herself and knowing what she needs to do in practices for both of those events. So I'm really excited to see what she can do in the hurdles this year. Keep dropping times.
All right. Well, a freshman from North Vernon, Indiana, TJ Mills. Tell us about TJ.
I haven't seen. I don't think TJ went to the first meet. He'll be coming in later in the season. He started coming to outdoor. I think he'll be running the mile. He ran 1 year in high school, so this is his second year, and he's been coming along. I'm not sure he knows what he wants to do, but he's just trying everything, and I'm sure he'll find his niche here soon.
All right. Well, a freshman from Hagerstown, that's Haley Rogers. Tell us about Haley.
Haley is going to be a great athlete for our team. She was very, very good in high school in her individual events and in her relays. So I'm really excited to see what she can do for our 4x8 and our 4x4 this year, along with her individual events. She's really quick. She's got a lot of endurance under her, and she's a very strong runner.
All right. Well, a senior from Albany, Indiana, Seth Prince. He's here in the studio, sitting over there in the back. But what do you have to say about him?
Seth Prince. Seth Prince is awesome. Seth, he's always out running miles. You can see him around Richmond all the time, and everyone knows who he is. He'll run the 5K and the 10K. He prefers the 10K, and then after the season's over, he'll go and try and qualify for the marathon. The longer the distance, the better Seth is.
Well, a sophomore from Winchester, that's Morgan Stanley. Tell us about Morgan.
Morgan Stanley always has a very good attitude at practice, and she's always yelling for people, making them push harder, because she knows that we have more to give, and she's the one that can bring it out of us. So it's very nice to have her encouraging words on the sideline when we're running. She cheers for just about everybody, and she does very well in the meets as well. She's probably one of our better middle distance girls, so I'm going to be really excited to see what she can do in the 800 this year. I think she's been talking about doing steeplechase too, which is exciting because we don't have a steeplechase girl. So I am very excited to see how she will be able to handle that.
Right. Well, how about a junior from Lynn, Indiana, Kyle Slick? Tell us about him.
Slick did very well. Slick's always at practice. He's always pushing himself. I think he hurt himself. He's trying to recover right now. So hopefully he recovers by the end of the season to come back and do some cool things, because he really is. He has a lot of talent.
All right. Last but not least, on the women's roster, a freshman from Batesville, Indiana, Grace Yetton.
Grace is probably going to be one of the biggest contributors to our team. I feel like she is great wherever you put her. I feel like I can, just like Heather, I can ask her to go and do anything and she'll do it. No complaining, nothing. And she knows what needs to be done, and she's a very hard worker. If she's not able to come to practice, she's running on her own. She finds somebody else to push her that day, and it's really nice to know that like as a teammate, I can trust her
Right.
into doing what needs to be done. And she's also very encouraging. That's one thing that I really like about our girls team this year is we're all there for each other and we know how to push each other to our boundaries. And I don't know, we're going to do great things this year, I feel like.
All right. Well, Dylan, there's 3 members left on the men's roster. First, tell us about Clint Swanson.
Clint Swanson's a superstar. You know, he's very underrated. You know, not a lot of people, you don't hear much about Clint Swanson, but Clint Swanson was the freshman newcomer of the year. Last year, he scored the most points on our team. He has a 200 record. He has a 100. Well, he will have the 100 record. He runs in the 4x1. I think last year he competed in 6 events. He doesn't have to practice. He went high jump last year, 5'10". He's like 3rd place. He just broke the 400 record right now for this season, and I'm sure he'll go under 50 for the 400. He's a very good shot at going to nationals this year.
All right. How about another sophomore, Andrew Wilcox?
Andrew Wilcox. Andrew ran the 400. He went to state in high school. Right now, I seen him the other day. He's throwing javelin. He's just a natural. I like to see what he can do in javelin this year, but he's also a sprinter. Well, I'm not sure what he wants to do, but we'll see. Whatever he does, I'm sure he'll do well in it.
All right. Last man on the men's roster, a freshman from Red Key, Indiana, Sean Wingett.
Sean Wingett will also be redshirting this year. Sean was a great athlete. He went to Jay County. I ran with him in high school. He's just he has a great attitude. He's very competitive, and so he's always trying to outwork you.
Right.
But yeah, that's not a bad thing. He's
Right.
he's always trying to get better.
All right. Anything you'd like to add about this season, Alexis?
Just how excited I am. I'm really excited because this is the most girls that we've had on the girls team since I've been here, and I'm a junior this year. And so we have a lot more variety as well. I'd like to see some sprinters come in next year so we're stronger on that side of it. But right now, I'm happy with what we've got, and I'm ready to see these girls push themselves and place in conference and do the best that they can.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you'd like to add, Dylan?
Yeah, I like to bring home some medals this year from conference. It's just, yeah, I mean.
Love that bling.
No, we only have 11 guys. So it's hard to compete, but I mean, well, we do well with what we got.
Right.
I'm excited to see what we can do.
All right. Well, Dylan, Alexis, thanks for joining me today. That concludes this week's episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and thanks for watching.